Hey, you guys, you're going to want to listen all the way through this episode because we have got not one, but two stories about coaches from The Voice, one of whom will not be wearing skinny jeans.
You're also going to find out how there is one other person, and probably many more, but one significant person who will also not let Mary J. Blige retire ever. Enjoy the show, everyone.
Oh, hey,
Hey.
this is 90s Now with Kelly and Sharon. I know the sign says and Adam, but really, where is he? He's bogged down by work. He is climbing up the corporate ladder, and that is preventing him from having fun on the other side of that ladder. He
Yeah.
will be back, no doubt about that. And he is the master that's putting this show together for us. So thank you, Adam. You
Yeah.
are still very much a part of 90s Now, and you are still still happening.
Yeah.
Very still happening.
I should mention just before you do the rundown of the show that he always nails putting in the trivia sound effect in the right place.
Very good. Bing
Probably
bong to
helps that I
that.
probably helps that I sent him a time code to help him.
Maybe. He is that good, though.
But he would not need it. He would find it sans me. But I try to be helpful.
Well, you are good that way, Kel.
Yeah.
We have got a few things to discuss today, and hopefully not much in the way of dark clouds. I think we had a tough topic to tackle, last week, so I thought I would alliterate myself and make it tough to say this week.
Yeah.
But what we have is new music on the way from one of the coaches from The Voice. Also, some fashion tips from another one of the coaches on The Voice. Naturally, Kelly's trivia is something that Adam, I am sure, is missing, but it's the kind of thing that will challenge you in ways you never knew you wanted and might not. I mean, afterwards, you get to decide that. Your 90s rewind always feels good. And of course, there is romance in the air for Mary J. Blige. So no dark clouds here, Kel. Let's start there.
MJB.
MJB is in a relationship, which she says is going well.
Yep.
Why? Because she's not holding anybody accountable for making her feel good for her.
Mm-hmm.
She's on it. It's her. It's about making me feel good for me. That's what she said. I love that. I love also that she said that forgiveness basically is where it's at. And what she realized is that forgiveness is for her, not for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
She said, and I love this quote, I don't like that ugly, bitter feeling because that's not mine. That belongs to you. You did what you did, but I have to move on. And in order for me to feel good and to manifest all the good things in my life, I have to let go for me, not for you. This is not for you. Trust me, this is not for you. This is for me. I love how she like 1-2 punched it and then like roundhoused it. Not for you, not for you, not for you.
Yep.
For me. I love that.
Did you watch? I'm not sure if you had a chance because I know you're a busy lady, but did you watch?
I am no lady.
You're no lady at all. Because she was on the Sherry Shepherd show.
Yes.
And so I didn't have a chance to watch all of it, but I watched some of it, and I love how Sherry, like me, because remember when I think it was several months back, if not even into the previous year, where we had got word where she had said she was, pondering retirement.
Yes.
I remember I was like devastated. And so I was very happy to find out that Sherry was also as devastated as I was. And so when she had Mary on the show, she was like, please tell us you're not retired. And I love that Mary said basically that it sounds like she was probably having a moment when she said that.
Yeah.
And that she didn't, quantify when, but she said probably not yet. And I'll take that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and she's heading out on tour also. So
Well, you know what? Unless the tour is called the MJB retiree,
yeah.
I think we're in the clear. I think probably when people make big claim statements like that, it's like she said she was having a moment. There's probably you want to be able to have some element of control over some part of your life. If you're having a moment, you're like, what can I, everything sort of seems upside down. Maybe that's the thing that I can control. That's what I will say. I get to decide when I'm done. But I'm sure she heard from more than you and Sherry Shepherd. you know, which I mean would be enough to get her to not retire, just the two of you. But I'm sure, I'm sure people took to any way to get through to her to say, please no.
Let me set a visual for you. Sherry Shepherd on the left and Kelly on the right leg dragging by. Don't do it.
Just like hands in the air. What are you doing?
So I'm very grateful, and she looks so fun and so happy and so ready to rock Miss MJB on the Sherry Show. So
And she does look good. I think it's because she's found her happiness all around. Another great quote from that episode was that she said, "I feel good about me. I look good to me. I feel good to me." She was really about the saying, you know, exactly. So she said, "So I'm embracing me." So when you embrace you, everything is embracing you. When you want you, everything wants you. Everything good.
yeah.
I like that.
And
It's true.
did you see her ensemble? I know that our audience right now that's listening to our podcast cannot see this, but did you see they if you actually just YouTube it, you'll find the episode. But she was rocking this crazy awesome attire on the Sherry Show.
And she always does. She makes
Yep.
anything look that much better because she's Mary J. Blige.
And she like can rock these thigh-high boots constantly.
You can't?
I haven't tried. Maybe next week, Karen. But and I love too that Sherry said to her when they were talking about the retirement thing, she said, like, you really just can't retire because she's like, who will sing about life for us? So I thought that was great.
And what a great outlet for an artist to be able to live life, live through the ups and downs, and be able to process it by writing about it, singing about it, making music around it.
Yeah.
It's obviously very cathartic for the artist, but the ripple effect of what it does for the fans is intense and immense. And I think that, you know, if we bring it back to her having a moment and saying something like, "Well, I'm going to retire," then she went inside. Do you know what I mean? Versus realizing that the the answer isn't retirement. Probably
Yeah.
the answer is probably keep going so that you have that release.
I know what's interesting too, I find about Mary is that there's so many women that relate to her because and I think she sings so many deep songs, you know what I mean? Like so
Hmm.
many like really truly introspective, emotional songs that there's just a certain part of the population of the entire planet that really, gravitates towards her. Like she feels a need that some other artists I don't think can
Yeah.
and the other reason too is like and it all stems from I think something you and I have learned as radio announcers is like we're told, it's very important to be authentic, like to be
Hmm.
yourself. And she is unapologetically herself. And I
Hmm.
think that's why people gravitate towards, first of all, she's amazing, but her authenticity, I think, just lends people to be like, oh no, she's singing me right now.
Yeah, and I think what also happens is that she her demographic is varied because she's singing to women her age, she's singing to younger people, she's singing to older people who have experienced what she has experienced, just maybe a generation ahead.
Mhm.
And she has to be singing to men too because they are as much a part of the equation that she's working herself through as anything. So it would be wise of men to pay close attention to what she's singing about because they stand to learn something about perhaps their parents, or the woman they might marry or spend time with, or a friend that might need the help. It's a she's a great resource.
Also to white farm girls from Montreal.
That's you.
JB.
Whoop
Yeah.
whoop.
Yeah.
Well, we will look forward to anything and everything from Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Similarly, we look forward to the torture. I mean, the enjoyment of trivia. Are we ready?
We are ready. Here we are. Sharon, last week I let you have the
Bing
schwa
bong.
of sport or art and literature first. Which one? You started with sport last week. Do you want to flip or stay the same?
I'm gonna start with sports.
Okay, great. Here we are.
Sports.
Which nation won the 1998 FIFA World Cup? By nation, I also mean country.
I get
Okay.
that. I'm gonna go with um Portugal,
Ooh, close. Do you want more chance?
Spain,
France.
France.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm satisfied with my guess, even though it's wrong. I'm gonna think and act like it was right.
Yeah, okay. That's
France it
perfect.
is.
I love it. I love it. So now we're going with art and literature. I think art and literature, out of all the card topics, this is the hardest one always.
Isn't
Um,
it?
so
Why
with
didn't I
that,
pick this one first? I'll note that for next time then.
that's why I gave you the schwa again.
I appreciate it.
Here we are. So here we go. Which company put color marking on the map in 1995 in a Supreme Court case against Jacobson Products Company, Inc.?
When you see the answer for your eyes, does it ring familiar to you?
Not one iota.
Why then would you ask me?
Because it's on the card.
Get a different card.
No, we have to use all the cards.
I don't even know what color marking is because I'm thinking Crayola.
Well, all right. Do you want to just go with that?
Crayola.
Qualitex.
I meant Qualitex.
Good job, Sharon.
Thank you. France, Qualitex, 2 for 2.
Before you move on to the next topic, I would like to give a shout out to our longtime listener, Shane Deaton, aka
Shane.
One Prince.
One
It was his
Prince.
birthday recently.
Happy birthday, Shane. I'm sorry I missed that on social media.
Yeah. So Shane, longtime listener, he's a new retiree.
Ooh,
Maybe he'll go to the Mary J. Blige one
maybe.
for Kentucky.
He can give her the what for. Do not even.
Yeah, exactly. So happy
Nice.
birthday, Shane. We really appreciate you. He's been with us the entire 13 seasons.
Totally that. And I was wearing my Kentucky shirt yesterday.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, Shane. Yay. I wonder if Shane will be as happy about the news of A, Gwen Stefani returning to The Voice as a coach, and B, that she's got a new album coming out.
Is she back on this season of The Voice?
Yes.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
I did not.
Blake leaves, she comes back.
Oh, that's fancy. Okay, great.
So maybe it is that they don't actually want to spend that much time together.
There might be that. Yeah.
Like, okay, well, if you're going, I gotta go. If
Yeah.
you're not gonna be on the show, I gotta be on the show.
I
Uh,
I love them together. I think they're great.
yeah, they seem really um, genuine.
Yeah.
Um, and I guess that's what you get after, looking and looking, and you find your click.
You know what's interesting too with them is that they hadn't been apart that long from their previous significant others,
Mm-hmm.
were spouses.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I don't know if it was a year and a half even, like it wasn't long. So it's great that, but I think they were also of an age where it's like you kind of know fairly quickly because of your past experiences what is or what does and does not work for you.
Yeah, ideally. Well, for Gwen Stefani, what works for her is waiting 7 years to release another solo album.
Yeah. Can you
It's
believe
been,
7 years though, Sharon? Like it's
yeah, time is such a
I think it's pandemic.
mind-blowing affair.
I think pandemic really like muddled the
Yeah.
waters.
Oh, totally that. Totally that. But look at the reward is that we've got this brand new album to look forward to, and it won't be that long because it's going to be released in November. It's called Bouquet. Okay, it's called Bouquet.
Mhm.
And it features 10 songs. The album closer is a duet with Blake.
Unsurprisingly. Yeah.
Yeah, they sing well together too. And that Christmas song, was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, I want to
I
say
love it.
yeah.
Love it.
She by the way, the first single's already out, so as of the time of you listening and or watching this, it's out. It's called Somebody Else's. Have you listened?
Yes. Yes, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah,
I think
she's so good.
this clearly will be a country album, I feel.
Well, you know what? I think if you can make a song work in different genres,
Mhm.
in different or styles rather, um, like why not? And why not put a few different sounds on one album? Like, make your album. I think she's in a position to make the kind of album she wants versus being at the start of her career where people are, a little bit more guided with, you should do this and stick to this and do what you know. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But
You know what's interesting is I recently got into a bit of not it wasn't anything crazy, but like
fist
a
fight.
difference of opinion over Beyonce's Cowboy Carter album.
With who?
Can't say on this, but that'll be for later. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, this person was like, who's an artist, very much said it's a Beyonce album. It's not a country album. And I had my thoughts were that like it's Beyonce, but it's very country. Like there's parts that aren't, but
Well, wasn't she intending it to be?
well, it's called Cowboy Carter. So,
Yeah.
but this particular artist was very adamant that it was like this is just a Beyonce album, like basically telling me she
Well,
the hell she wants, which she can,
well, and she can for sure, but
but
then don't be surprised then when you don't get nominated for country music awards,
yeah. Well, that's why
right?
I think Beyonce like I mean, and I how do you feel about that? Like because we also got into that. Like I said that I was very shocked that she didn't get any. I'm shocked and then also not shocked. I'm more appalled that she didn't because what the heck is wrong with people?
Well, maybe they don't, maybe they view it as a Beyonce album. It
Maybe.
depends. Like, is that how she intended it? Did she intend it to be a Beyonce album? And under that umbrella, this is part of the music that influenced my life and my music. So here I am celebrating that. Or did she set out to do a country album? I mean, she knows the business that she's in,
Mm,
that there are genres, there are, you know, categories, or there are different factions of styles. So yes, there's going to be a country music awards. There's like 4 country music awards show. I just saw a promo for Shania Twain hosting the People's Choice Country Awards. like to me, there was already enough country music awards shows.
yeah.
There's a lot of them. People's Choice now is another one. But anyways, um, so and I understand also that the way we listen to music today versus even 10 years ago, certainly 15, 20 years ago, is different. Like it's promoted somewhat differently because of how we listen to it on, stream services and stuff like that, where things will be suggested to you. Well, if you like this, you're also going to like this. It doesn't always go like genre specific. So is she just doing what her heart is telling her to do? And then I don't know, like, is she mad that she wasn't nominated for an award, or
I
is it just people making noise about it?
I think well, now it's been like a couple of weeks since the nominations came out, so I didn't hear anything. I was obviously very busy at the time also, so I wasn't looking for commentary from her, but I feel like I would have seen it.
Hmm.
I think you and I would have both seen it had she made
Yeah.
commentary. But like for example though, like the Texas Hold'em, like that should have at least been up for single of the year. It's very country.
Very. I agree
It
with
was like
you.
number 1 for however many weeks, you know?
Yeah.
So that's like if you don't wanna because there are tinges that are not necessarily country, which I get, so maybe don't vote it in for album of the year, but, like, single of the year or, like, you know what I mean? It's like
You
there's
can't ignore some things, and they
yeah, like,
clearly
they
did.
ignored it. They
Yeah.
ignored it. Somebody tried to tell me too recently, they're like, "What'd you think of that song?" I'm like, "I thought it was fantastic." And I thought it was fantastic for many reasons, especially because it made me, who is not a massive country fan, learn that, she went and made sure to get, country artist, of color to play on the album.
Hmm.
The banjo player on Texas Hold'em, I forget her last name, which I apologize for sincerely. I know her first name is Rhiannon, and and like that brought me to go check out her social media.
Yeah.
It made like someone who is not into that go find out because I was very interested to know her backstory.
Yeah.
So she did a lot of good with that, and so that's why but just again, just that
Hmm.
song
Yeah.
should have been nominated.
Yeah.
Period.
The one she did with Miley, I thought was
Oh my God, I love that song.
like, yeah.
It's
So when it's blatant that an award show has ignored you,
yeah,
um,
because
and all
Miley would
all
have
of
been
them have, but
yep,
certainly I think country music has a bit of a chip on their shoulder for some reason. Like, no,
Yeah.
you don't get to decide your country. Maybe that's their thing. But guess what?
Because if
Yes, we do.
Miley had done this album, let's say that was Miley's album and it was
Yeah,
flipped and Beyonce featured with her or whatever, like the whole thing would have been nominated for
yeah.
everything. You know, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is, and I know this wasn't fully confirmed, but like when Beyonce sort of talked about the album coming out, she intoned that it was from like an experience that didn't go well, like, you know, and that seems to be when she was not treated well when she performed with the Chicks years ago on the CMAs.
Really
Yeah, that's the intonation.
interesting. Not treated well by.
By the community.
My goodness.
So that's why like it leads me to believe that she did create, yes, like I think anything she does is Beyonce album.
Of course.
But like, you know, like when she did her last album, Renaissance, like that that's a house dance album. Like
Hmm.
nobody's arguing that. You know what I mean? Nobody said like that's a Beyonce album. Like, no, they're like, that's a Beyonce, you know, it's a house album, it's a dance album. Like, you know, and so
But
this
that's what it could be. It could be Beyonce's house album or Beyonce's
yeah.
dance album or Beyonce's country album or Beyonce's heavy metal album. We know, remember we've talked about
Mhm.
Mariah Carey doing a
Yeah.
rock album. So
Yeah.
it can't be. I'd love to find out who it is that tries to control that narrative that no, they don't get to do that. Yes, they do. It's 2024. Like, deal
Yeah.
with it. Everybody else has had to sort of comply or be more open about everything. So just do it. It's more inclusive when you think that you can reach more people
Yep.
and you can like more people can like the same thing or discuss something and find different angles to it. It's a more positive experience if there's more people involved.
Yeah, I don't like what when people put you into a box and you and I for sure have experienced that, whether it's us ourselves or seeing colleagues in the industry we're in,
Hmm.
you know, and it's like you're like, no, that's your role. And then nobody can see you doing something else when in fact you could, whether it's like, you know, you let's say you are a rock DJ, but you could totally work on a country
Of
station.
course.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's just an example. I'm sure there's tons of examples in every other industry. I don't understand what it is about people or the overall like perception of communities that they can't handle
Yeah.
if you're a bit of this and a bit of that. It's like too, it's like if somebody, let's say, you know, has to work in a factory or something, and so they're in like a uniform all day, but then they have no problems dressing up and looking amazing and going out and singing at night, let's say, as a part of
Right.
the gig, like, but you can't equate that they can do both things. You know what I mean? Like it really is frustrating.
And I would say think that part of it is the industry trying to control it a bit, um, presuming that people aren't going to like this.
Yeah.
So that's an old school mentality
Yeah.
too. When they had their fingerprints on a lot of things and they controlled the music a little bit more. It's not like that anymore. It just isn't. And I
Yeah.
mean, and the funny thing is that award shows end up they don't matter because sales matter, people listening to your music matter, ultimately people buying tickets to your shows matter.
Yeah.
But at the same time I can understand Beyonce comes from like she's old enough to sort of want to say, yeah, you're gonna recognize this too. I can understand that competitive spirit,
Yeah.
but it doesn't affect her bottom line. Like if that's what they're trying to qualify,
Yeah.
because she can, anybody can do whatever they want, and she's at a point in her career where certainly she can do whatever she wants,
Yeah.
and clearly she does it well. So why aren't they calling us, Kel?
Yeah.
We have the answers.
All of them.
Okay, so we're gonna go to another coach on The Voice because it's a hard no for skinny jeans for Snoop. I just love that this is a thing, actually, because it should be a no for skinny jeans for Snoop because he's the father of four.
Right.
But if any dad could pull off, skinny jeans,
Yeah.
it's him. But it seems that getting them off seems to be the problem. He says, I'm skinny, so it's going to be a problem getting in and out of these. Mother. Plurals. So please don't. He says there's a limit to the skinny. You know what I'm saying? We can't do that because I can't have nobody help me take my pants off like this. Pull it off for me. He says we ain't doing that. We are not doing that, which I love. I love that that was a question that he actually answered.
I love that he and Elton John could be a rap duo because they're always in like, you know, these tracksuits.
Yes, and
Like,
Elton John, I don't want to have to put in skinny jeans either.
oh, and I love that they're in like fancy tracksuits. Like Elton John is always
Yes,
in these killer fancy tracksuits, and so is Snoop.
yes.
So they should actually. Here's another answer we have, Sharon. They should have cross collaboration. You know,
Track slacks.
track slacks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Let us know how much more rich you get.
Yeah.
What I love about Snoop also is that he's honest, straightforward about every single thing that he does. But he talks about how he refers and defers to his team and his stylist for that kind of risk assessment, saying, and we don't experiment. We bring the fly to whatever we're advertising. He says, you give us that wardrobe and watch what we do with it.
Nice.
But basically, no skinny jeans.
Yeah. Not for
I'm with you.
yeah. He's a grandpa now. He has to
Pretty wild, eh?
it's so it's because he's is he even what is he? Is he even 50? 51? Like
Yeah, he's in his 50s, isn't he?
and he's been oh he might be yeah, but he's been a grandpa for a while.
I thought he was 53.
That's what I want to say also.
Well, good on Snoop. That's what I say. Can you imagine if we were to go back 30 years ago and at that point say, you know what? Snoop's going to be a coach on this singing competition where he's going to give feedback to people. He will also be just known for smoking dope, and everybody's going to be fine with that too. And he's going to wear tracksuits all the time, not unlike he does right now. And that's going to be fine too. And he's going to be a proud father of football playing kids and just someone that everybody loves who got to report on the Olympics because they thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
Imagine telling Snoop that 30 years ago. He probably would have said something we can't say on this show.
Yeah. It's quite a metamorphosis for him.
Yeah, I love that that he is as has always been as relevant as he still is, you know, for different reasons. And for a guy that grew up where he grew up and made a name for himself telling his stories from his experiences, he's still basically doing that and he's sharing the wealth, really. I love it. Okay, so are you ready for a 90s rewind?
And
I'm just going to drop some 90s names on you that just makes sense. I'll start with Coolio and tell you that Gangsta's Paradise channeled some Stevie Wonder, also sampled it, as that movie was gigantic back in 1995. How about another one word name? Seal and A Kiss from a Rose.
oh.
I have allergies, Kelly. I can't take A Kiss from a Rose, but I trust when Seal sings about it that it's got to be something.
Yeah.
Another one word namer, Shaggy. Shaggy. That's how I say it. Shaggy. And Boombastic, also in the top end of the charts around this time. If we can balance it out with a few more names like Hootie and the Blowfish, you know you're in 1995 when Only Want to Be With You is something that you cannot get out of your head.
Love it.
And to go from one name to a silly name to 3 letters, TLC.
Yeah.
You know that Waterfalls was something that was pretty cool. And the video was something that was like, ooh, that's pretty cool. Look what they're doing there. They're waterfalls. They are actually waterfalls. The people are waterfalls.
They are.
And if we could balance it out with, well, a video that was a little more creepy than Nito, because Michael Jackson was naked in it.
Oh.
You Are Not Alone.
I knew you were going there.
You know why I went there? Because my eyes saw it and I thought, I cannot be alone with this memory. So you are not alone, Sharon Hyland. You are with Kelly. And 90s Now is still happening. And that is your 90s rewind.
Good job, Sharon. I have all the remixes for you. Well, all of them. I have a lot of them and they're very good. The remixes for You're Not Alone. That's a very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the song.
Yeah.
The video, I just felt like I was locked in a room that I couldn't get out of.
Oh, jeez.
I know. But get out! No.
And it's crazy to think both those people are gone now.
That's nuts.
Yeah, because he was with his then wife, Lisa Marie Presley. I just can't still believe she's gone. It's very
Yeah. And that book, I saw a promo for that book that
oh,
sorry, not Kylie, but Riley Keough finished her mom's book.
great. I think I will actually read it.
Cool. I
Yeah,
will wait for you to tell me about
you're welcome. Yeah,
it.
let's serve you, Sharon Highland. And
Let's.
just before we wrap up, this is just a fun thing, but I think I'm hoping people who are listening will check this out. I by accident, I guess it came into my algorithm somehow on Instagram, about this guy over in South Africa, and he raised a lion
Whoa.
because she was abandoned, I believe, when she
Wow.
was little. And so her name is Surga, Sirga.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can find her on Instagram at Surga the Lioness. And she
Wow.
is brilliant. And he is the only human that she will like let near her. And they go for walks. He actually has her in this crazy, like, I don't know if it's like, I'm gonna be wrong with the number, but it's like a 2,000 hectare like reserve thing where she's
Mm-hmm.
because she cannot be with other lions. Otherwise, things will go badly for her because she was brought up
Right.
not really in captivity, but
Yeah.
with him. Um, I've learned so much in the last several weeks just by following like this them and he's amazing. Like he's put his life to make hers better. So
I love that. I love that story. I love the fact that this is a great example of using the internet for something good and educational and enlightening,
mm,
not unlike finding 90s now on all the platforms everywhere. I know, shameless plug. What?
I love it.
It's true though. We appreciate that you find us wherever it is that you do, and thank you very much for listening to 90s Now. Still happening.